What's up, guys? It's Taco with Amped Up Outdoors. Got another little tacos tip for you. Today, I'm going to be making carp boilies for carp fishing. And I'm going to do one of my own recipe. I kind of did a little bit of shopping, found something. I figured I'd give it a good test out. But this is how you make boilies. First thing I'm going to start is just a regular plastic bowl. Right here, I just have some regular flour. I'm going to get a cup of regular flour. So I got a cup of flour in my bowl. Next thing I'm going to put in a cup of rolled oats. So I have a cup of rolled oats and a cup of flour. The next thing I'm going to do is I found these in the pet food section. This is a Wardley shrimp pellet. It's basically a fish food. So I'm going to open these up. And these are in little pellets. They're real tiny. I'm going to put about a half cup of those in a bag, and then I'm going to crush them up because I'm going to use this as a flavoring. So that's a half cup of the shrimp pellets, and they're still probably a little better than half of that container left. So if you were making a whole bunch of boilies, you know, you could double it up. This container is 9 ounces. So you should have enough to do a nice sized batch. Okay, so I'm back. Had to go a little high tech. Went and got the little mini food processor to chop up the shrimp pellets. I also went and used about half of that container to kind of chop these up into a little bit finer meal to make it more like a meal than a pellet per se. It's still a little rough. I'm going to use 1/2 a cup of cornstarch. Oop, well, I probably did a little bit more than a 1/2 a cup there. But again, when I'm carp fishing, I really don't measure a whole bunch. So I have all my dry ingredients here. The cup of flour, the cup of rolled oats, about 4.5 ounces of shrimp pellets, 1/2 a cup of cornstarch. Now I'm just going to kind of mix everything together. But I forgot one more ingredient. I like to add garlic to a lot of my stuff, so I'm going to give this a good, healthy shake of garlic salt. When I'm carp fishing, I'll just take a thing of garlic salt. I'll sprinkle it on my chum. I'll sprinkle it in with my method. Yeah, garlic and fishing to me is one of those things that kind of go together. So I'm just kind of combining all my dry ingredients here. This is what I have with all my dry ingredients combined. I ran the shrimp pellets through the food processor to kind of reduce them some, kind of make them more like a meal. I have my flour, my oats, a cup of each, a half cup of cornstarch. My next thing is going to be 1 large egg. So I'm going to go ahead and crack 1 large egg in there. I'm going to kind of mix that in. And everything's looking pretty dry right now still. So my next step is going to be to add water a little bit at a time until I can make us a dough. Now, if you're adding water and you add a little bit too much, this is a real easy problem to solve. You can just add a little bit more flour, a little bit more cornstarch, and this is going to get to the point, this is going to be easier for me to knead it with my hands. So I'm going to kind of set this fork aside, add a little bit of water here. Kind of knead this until it becomes a sticky, thick dough. And this is sticky and garlicky smelling. But as you can see, I have a pretty thick consistency here. So now I have the consistency of the dough I want. I'm just going to begin grabbing hunks of dough off. Keep my hands wet. And begin rolling boilies. There's a couple of different ways you could do this. I know I've heard you can use a sausage gun. You can try to roll it out in a little bit more length. I know they actually make a rolling table. I don't have any of that high-tech stuff yet. Like I said, this is the first time I've tried to make my own boilies. So I'm just going to hand roll this time. You know, maybe later on I'll get a rolling table. That one's a little big, so I'm going to break some of that off. I do find it handy to keep a little bit of water close by. Like I say, you kind of dip your fingers in there, wet your palm a little bit. It does make it a little bit easier. So you're going to roll these up to the approximate size you want. And once you get them all rolled, you're going to go to the next step. So after a bit, I've rolled up a whole bunch of handful of boilies with some help from my lovely wife. The next step is going to be to get these to set. Over on my stove top, I've got a pot with boiling water. I'm just going to add these boilies to it and let them go for a couple of minutes to set them. Then I'm going to drain them on this rack. So I'm just draining them out with a slotted spoon, putting them on a wire rack, and then moving them around so there's enough airspace in between them so they can dry out. They're going to have to dry out for about 3 or 4 hours. Once you make a big batch, if you're going to use them the next day or so, make them up, use them. If you're going to keep them for an extended period of time, you're going to want to freeze them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one about making your own boilies. Like I said, we also have other things, how to tie a hair rig so you can fish them. And we have a make your own pack bait. I hope to catch you guys out in the field, and I'll see you next time.